Hello there guys, welcome to one of my videos. On this video I am going to be giving you my reaction to the Europa League quarter-final draw. The quarter-final draw was done earlier on today. Then after I've given you my reaction to the draw, I am going to be talking with you a bit more about Mason Greenwood. Then I'm going to be talking with you a bit more about Jadon Sancho because I have been talking with you about Jadon Sancho on a regular basis. Now, so let's go through the quarter-final draw. So this is the draw, I've got it up here. Shakhtar Donetsk or Wolfsburg versus Frankfurt or FC Basel. Lask or Manchester United against Copenhagen or Istanbul Başakşehir. Obviously, we're now into the quarterfinals of, the Europa League anyway because we are 5-0 up against Lask from the first leg. I think we do play Lask in the second leg on the 5th of August. Inter Milan or Getafe versus Rangers or Bayer Leverkusen. And then the other one, Olympiacos and Wolves against Sevilla or Roma. Inter and Getafe and Sevilla and Roma are the two ties that didn't get off the ground pre-lockdown. The first legs were cancelled due to COVID-19. All of the others got the first leg played. As the Europa League ties stand at the moment, Istanbul Başakşehir are 1-0 up against Copenhagen. Wolves are drawing 1-1 with Olympiacos. Bayer Leverkusen 3, Rangers 1, Shakhtar Donetsk 2, Wolfsburg 1, Basel 3, Frankfurt 0, and Manchester United 5, Lask 0. So that is the draw for the quarterfinals of the Europa League. I think, we're actually emerged as the favourites to win the Europa League because I want us to win the Europa League because it is a chance for us getting some silverware on the board. And plus, if we win the Europa League, we'll get automatic qualification for the Champions League. I'm also looking forward to the FA Cup semi-final. We have got Chelsea in the FA Cup semi-final on the 19th of July. And also the FA Cup is a chance for us getting some silverware on the board. But if we could win the FA Cup and the Europa League, or even at least one of them, it would be a memorable first full season for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and Manchester United. We've not yet won out in terms of silverware under Solskjaer, and he has been at the football club for 18 months. We haven't won the trophy since 2017, and that was when we won the Europa League and the League Cup under Jose Mourinho. Won the FA Cup back under Louis van Gaal in 2016. Don't forget, we do want to finish in the top 4. Because we do want qualification for the Champions League for next season, and Solskjaer recently spoken about the importance of Champions League football. We can actually still finish third. As it stands now, we are 2 points behind Chelsea and only 1 point behind Leicester. We've got now 4 games remaining in the Premier League, and I think in reality we should win all of our 4 remaining games. We should win all of our 4 remaining games. We are now unbeaten in our last 17 games in all competitions. I think we're unbeaten in our last 10 Premier League games. And this is our best vein of form since Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was the interim manager. Of course, we beat Aston Villa 3-0 yesterday night at Villa Park. You saw my match reaction for it this morning. I also gave you my player ratings, from the 3-0 win against Aston Villa. Don't forget, we've become the first team in Premier League history to win 4 consecutive matches by 3 or more goals. And in our last 4 league games now, Solskjaer has gone with the exact same side. He's gone with the exact same side. But Solskjaer, has demanded maximum points. He said, we've got to win all our remaining games if we do want to finish in that top 4. So there you go. So now let's talk about Mason Greenwood. I think Mason Greenwood is a dynamite. This has been Mason Greenwood's first full season in the senior squad for Man United. Mason Greenwood has now scored 16 goals for the football club in all competitions this season. He scored in the game yesterday night against Aston Villa. He also scored twice in the 5-2 win against Bournemouth. He also scored in the 3-0 win against Brighton, and he looks very, very effective on that right wing. He is my preference over Daniel James, is Mason Greenwood. Solskjaer's been talking a lot about Mason Greenwood recently, saying that he's undroppable. I think he will start him for the remainder of this season. He'll continue getting more starts. He also said that Mason Greenwood is ready to play for England at senior level. And he actually said after the Bournemouth game that he's a better finisher than Wayne Rooney was at the same age. But definitely Mason Greenwood is a foreseeable future for Manchester United and all of that. But I think all our attacking players have done really, really well. You've got Marcus Rashford that's on around, 20 goals this season for the football club. You've got Martial that's on around 19, 20 goals. So I think in total they've scored around 56, 57 goals of Greenwood, Rashford and Anthony Martial. Rashford, I think's done well, since he came back from injury because, like I said earlier on in the season, Marcus Rashford was a big miss for us. Anthony Martial has enjoyed an exceptional season. This has been, Martial's 5th season at the football club. I thought he's been very, very good this season as Anthony Martial, and don't forget, he has been playing in that central position, but Martial, does look very, very, very effective in that central position. I think one of the best seasons he enjoyed was his debut season under Louis van Gaal and that. But, our front three have done really, really well. They've done really, really well. Now let me just delve into some news on Jadon Sancho. So despite the fact that we're in a good vein of form now, I still think, we need to get Jadon Sancho on the board. Now, Borussia Dortmund are reportedly ready to sell Jadon Sancho because, like I said to you yesterday, Borussia Dortmund are now looking for replacements for Jadon Sancho. They're looking for replacements for Jadon Sancho. Looking for replacements for him. And Dortmund have obviously, said that, they still want at least £100 million for him. Don't forget, there were stories coming out yesterday saying that Ed Woodward has put 6 of our players up for sale because we're looking to sell 6 players to fund the move for Sancho. Now, reportedly, Borussia Dortmund have set a deadline for Sancho. Reportedly, we've got until the 10th of August to sign him, or Jadon Sancho to Manchester United is off. Now, don't forget there were stories coming out the other week, and this was stemming from Ian McGarry, who's a transfer expert, and he was also stemming from Duncan Castles, and they had said, that Jadon Sancho's agreed personal terms with Man United, and it said he has agreed a 5-year contract with the football club with around 140 grand a week, but no fee has yet come to an agreement. I think Borussia Dortmund's asking price seems to be the stumbling block. What came out the other week is exactly the same as what came out back in February, because there were stories coming out in February saying that Jadon Sancho had agreed almost every little detail of the move to Man United. He said the only thing that hadn't been agreed was the fee. It recently said, though, that we're only willing to pay £50 million for Jadon Sancho. But obviously, we're going to have to pay at least double £50 million to convince Borussia Dortmund to offload him. I believe now we're the only club that are in for Sancho. He is our number one priority target. Don't forget, you had the Borussia Dortmund CEO last month saying that, Sancho will stay at Dortmund because he was very convinced that no club's willing to meet their valuation. You had Lucien Favre, the Borussia Dortmund boss, the other month. I think it was last month, was it? He said that, Jadon Sancho could still leave Borussia Dortmund in the summer transfer window. By the way, quite a few weeks ago now, Jadon Sancho was fined around £8,000 for breaking lockdown rules. And at that point, Borussia Dortmund did say that they are losing their patience with the player. There were stories coming out quite a few weeks ago saying that Sancho was open to going back to Man City because we've been struggling to meet their asking price. Sancho is a former Manchester City player. He had a few years with City, but the main explanation why he left Manchester City is because he did not get any first-team opportunities, did Jadon Sancho. And City, of course, sold Sancho for just £8 million. And, Borussia Dortmund are looking to make a huge profit on him. This has been now Sancho's third season with Dortmund, and his valuation has persistently grown, reflecting on his good run of performances. Jadon Sancho has got a contract with Borussia Dortmund until 2022, but he's got no intentions of extending his contract with Dortmund as Sancho. We've already made a promise to Sancho as well that we are willing to offer him the number 7 because we have got number 7 vacant at the moment. But I've outlined, a few of the reasons why I want Sancho at Man United is because he's predominantly a right winger. And we're in search for the right winner. Also, too, he's got a very, very good friendship with Rashford, and I think he complement our attacking line really, really well. You'll hear some Man United fans now saying, why do we need to get Sancho, when Mason Greenwood's come onto the horizon, being a revelation. But it'd be still very, very nice to get Jadon Sancho on the board. It really, really would. And, Borussia Dortmund are known as a selling football club because they have let quite a few of their players go to the Premier League in recent years. There's players that they've let go who didn't go to the Premier League. But to be fair, they have recruited a few players in recent years. Liverpool were in for him at one point, but they're no longer in for him. Chelsea were in for him at one point, but I don't think Chelsea are no longer in for Sancho. But, we first expressed our interest in Sancho in 2017. So like I said, Dortmund are now looking for replacements for him. We are looking at alternatives to Sancho because I will make the admission there's cheaper solutions than Jadon Sancho and all of that. But we are still looking to get him on the board. I was reading up yesterday as well. It said if we were to get qualification for the Champions League, then Jadon Sancho to Manchester United could be off. So there you go. The news regarding Jack Grealish as well, don't you? Don't forget, prior to the Villa game, Solskjaer had warned our players to be aware of Jack Grealish, because, Jack Grealish can pose a threat. Jack Grealish can pose a threat. And Jack Grealish is one of our priority targets. Now, I do expect Jack Grealish to leave Aston Villa. Jack Grealish is valued at around, £50 million. Villa did say a while back, that they want around £80 million for Jack Grealish, but they're not going to get £80 million for him, especially if Villa get relegated, and looking likely in reality that Villa are going to be getting relegated. Don't forget, you had the former Villa boss, Tim Sherwood. He said not too long ago that Jack Grealish has allegedly agreed to come to Man United. You've had Jack Grealish's agent recently talking about this, about the Jack Grealish transfer saga, and he said that Jack Grealish could still leave Villa because he said Champions League football is beneficial for his client. Like I said, up until this point, Jack Grealish has spent the entirety of his career with Aston Villa. He's been a Villa player since the age of 6. He was in their youth setup for several years. Jack Grealish has been in Villa's senior squad since 2014. It's now 2020, so this has been Jack Grealish's 6th season in Aston Villa's senior squad. And he's still got a contract with Aston Villa until 2023. It said the other week as well that Man City were in for him. He allegedly told his friends that he'd bought a house near our Carrington training ground, so reflects on that. He said that Grealish was close to coming to Manchester United. But some United fans think Jack Grealish looks a lot more likely than Jadon Sancho. If we was to get both players, that would probably cost us around 170, maybe 180 million, and maybe, even more than that. But, we are going to sell players in the summer transfer window. We're going to get rid of at least 5 players, maybe more. So we are going to generate money in that aspect. But Solskjaer's already revealed his plans for the summer transfer window. Don't forget, he did say that he doesn't expect a lot of surgery in the squad for the summer transfer window. I think in the summer transfer window, we're probably going to make 2, maybe 3 signings at the most. Don't forget, Solskjaer did confirm one thing. He said he will avoid buying any rotten apples in the squad for the summer transfer window. Because he warned our players a few weeks ago that he will not tolerate any rotten apples in the squad. I don't think, our transfer budget has yet been announced. I don't think a lot of clubs' transfer budgets have not been announced. I think the they will decide on the transfer budgets once a decision has been made on, when fans can go back to games. But, the summer transfer window will be Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's fourth transfer window as Manchester United manager. Fourth transfer window as Manchester United manager. And, like I said, Ed Woodward, he's going to be backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. Also, too, the Glazers are going to be backing Ole Gunnar Solskjaer as well. But I think, we'll get the players that we do want in. Don't forget earlier on in Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's managerial career, he had, worked out his transfer strategy and said he wants to continue the policy of recruiting young British talents to Manchester United because, 3 of the 5 players that Solskjaer's brought in so far are British. And Solskjaer, has spent just over £200 million at the football club. But, I've taken positives from Solskjaer's tenure so far. Like I said, he's brought 5 good players into the football club. He's also, got rid of a lot of the deadwood. I think over 20 players have left, since Solskjaer came into the club. Solskjaer's also promoted the youth very, very well. We've done very, very well against the top 6 sides this season. We've taken 18 points against the top 6 sides this season. Also a lot of players' contracts have been extended since Solskjaer got recommended into the club. The recent player to sign a new contract was Nemanja Matic. He signed a 3-year contract on Monday to keep him at the football club until 2023. But we are still facing a bit of a dilemma regarding the contracts because we've got around 8 players' contracts that are due to expire next year. And Solskjaer's got to make a decision on these 8 players. Pogba's contract, of course, expires next year. Also, too, Juan Matas does. Jesse Lingard does. Andres Pereira's does. Tuan Zebe's does. Rojo's does. Lee Grant's, Sergio Romero's. So these actually are quite a few. So Solskjaer's got to make a decision on these players. But yeah, I've taken positive, from his tenure so far, and I'm very, very convinced that we'll get a title under Solskjaer, and if we can do this, that will be our 21st title, because as it stands at the moment, we have won 20 titles, and 13 of them are Premier Leagues. So as it stands at the moment, we are the most successful team in England. This has been now the 7th season. We have failed to mount any kind of title challenge up. The last time won the Premier League was back in 2013 in Alex Ferguson's last season. But like I said, next season, our expectations will be to challenge for the Premier League title. And I think, we'll challenge for the Premier League title next season. I really, really do. Because Solskjaer knows next season he will have bigger expectations to exceed. And Solskjaer will definitely be Manchester United manager next season. Even if we weren't to get qualification for the Champions League, I still think, he'd be Manchester United manager next season. Like I said, earlier on in the season, Solskjaer was really, really close to getting sacked by Man United. And at that point, there was talks of Pochettino coming in. There was also talks of Massimiliano Allegri coming in. Earlier on in the season, we'd enjoyed our worst start to a Premier League season for 30 years. And at that point, things weren't going right. It really, really wasn't. Things were just not going right in that. But I've already given the main explanations, why Ole Gunnar Solskjaer didn't get sacked as Manchester United manager. I still don't know if he's the foreseeable future for the club. Time will tell. Like I said, next season is the real test for Ole Gunnar Solskjaer and that. I'm not saying we're going to win the league next season, but I think, we will mount a title challenge up. It just all depends on, who we recruiting in the summer transfer window. And it also depends, what other teams do. Like I said, Chelsea have done very, very good business so far. They've already got signed 2 players under Frank Lampard, and the summer transfer window isn't even open yet. They got Hakim Ziyech back in February from Ajax. They got Werner a couple of weeks ago, didn't they? They're trying to now get Kai Havertz on the board. So Chelsea, could be up there next season. Chelsea, could be up there. But there's a lot of uncertainty regarding the summer transfer window because don't forget the other month when our financial figures had been revealed, it said our net debt had risen up. Our net debt is just over 429 million, sorry. And it said our actual debt had risen up by almost 130 million pounds. Woodward said the other month, didn't he, if you do remember rightly, that we will remain competitive in the summer transfer market, but he did say, we won't do business as usual in the summer transfer market, so he ruled out big transfers to Manchester United. And like I said, we have been playing catch up for the last 7 years. We've had different managers with different philosophies. 3 managers have been sacked since the Ferguson era, and that was, David Moyes. He enjoyed 9 months, 8, 9 months at the club. Louis van Gaal, he enjoyed 2 years at the club, and Jose Mourinho, he enjoyed 2.5 years at Manchester United. So all them managers have been sacked. So Solskjaer's our 4th permanent manager since the Ferguson era. We've also spent close to the £1 billion range on players, and we've recruited over 30-odd players in since the Ferguson era. I think a lot of the players, that we have recommended in have not been, the right calibre players for Man United. I will make an admission as well. We have overpaid for players in recent years. We paid 89 million for Pogba, 75 million for Lukaku, 80 million for Maguire, 50 million for Fred, 40 million pounds for Matic, and we've been criticised, for several years, reflecting how poor our recruitment policy's been, and with us overpaying for players. And, we've been very critical of Ed Woodward and the Glazers for several years as well. So, like I said, in the last 7 years, there's been a lot of problems at the football club. Everybody's been accountable. There's also been cultural problems at the football club. But yeah, again, there's players that we've brought in over the years who we should have kept. Prime example, should have kept Ander Herrera. Herrera enjoyed 5 years at the club. And, maybe we should have kept Romelu Lukaku as well. But, we have made a lot of mistakes in the last 7 years, and that's one of the main explanations why we have been so inconsistent in that. But now, we seem to be going in the right direction. A lot of aspects of our game have really, really improved. Our football looks more expansive. We're creating more chances now. We're being more clinical in front of goal. We also defensively look better. And I've been getting glimpses of the Alex Ferguson days. Like I said, we haven't dominated English football since the Alex Ferguson era. We haven't dominated English football since the Alex Ferguson era. And, Ferguson, like I said, enjoyed, 26 years at Man United. Won a total of 38 major honours. Enjoyed 22 years of success, because don't forget, Ferguson didn't win out in his first 4 years at the football club. And I don't think anyone at Man United will replicate Ferguson's legacy, or I don't think they'll last as long as Ferguson did. But any manager in general at any team, I don't think will be the next Alex Ferguson. But I'm still convinced we can get back to being competitive under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Like I said, I want his managerial tenure to work out, because at the end of the day, he was a great player for us. Enjoyed 11 years at Manchester United as a player. One of his most iconic moments as a player was 1999, of course, when he did win the club the treble, which is just over 20 years ago now. But, we haven't lost since January, and that's, when we lost 2-0 at home to Burnley. And it's good as well that Ole Gunnar Solskjaer has given everybody their chances, more or less, because when he did get appointed in as Manchester United manager, he said, everybody would get their chances, including the young players. Like I said, we have got quite a few long-serving players at the football club. We've also had long-serving players at the football club. Don't forget Valencia left last summer. He enjoyed 10 years at the football club. Also to Ashley Young. He enjoyed 8.5 years at the football club. He went to Inter Milan in January. So there were 2 long-serving players for the club. Herrera, he enjoyed 5 years with us. Fellaini, he enjoyed 6 years with us. He left back in January 2019. He was the first player to leave under the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer era. Like I said, there's long servants here now, still playing for the club. De Gea. This has been David De Gea's. This has been, David De Gea's, 9th season at Manchester United. David De Gea is now approaching his 10th year at the football club. And like I said, David De Gea has probably enjoyed 7 good years out of the 9 years he's been here, because in the last couple of years he has been a liability. David De Gea is going to remain our number one goalkeeper, for the remainder of this season. Probably next season as well, he's going to be our number one. We've got Juan Mata, that's here. He's been a long servant at the club. This has been his 6th season at Man United, Juan Mata. Luke Shaw, this has been Luke Shaw's 6th season at the football club. So yeah, quite a few, long-serving players at Manchester United. The news, don't you, regarding Paul Pogba? Positivity has come out regarding Paul Pogba recently. Positivity has come out because Fabrizio Romano confirmed that, we've been in negotiations with Mini Raiola over extending Paul Pogba's contract at the football club. As it stands at the moment, Pogba's got just under a year left in his contract, but there's also an option of a further year. Solskjaer wants Paul Pogba to commit his long-term future with Manchester United. I think, since the resumption of the season, Paul Pogba has done really, really well for Man United. He really, really has. Earlier on in the season, I didn't really have a perception on Pogba, because obviously early on in the season he didn't play because he was out with an ankle injury. Yesterday, Paul Pogba scored his first goal of the season, and it was his first goal since April 2019, and took his goal very, very well. Bruno Fernandes had got the assist. And the combination between Paul Pogba and Bruno Fernandes is just absolutely, exceptional. It really, really is. It is exceptional in that. But yeah, Paul Pogba's staying at the football club now. But if we can get him to a new long-term contract, then the uncertainty over his future, will stop. If we can get him to a new long-term contract. As it stands at the moment, Pogba is on just under 300 grand a week at the club. And, we paid £89 million for him. So he's our most expensive signing. And he's, one of the club's highest paid players, like I mentioned. Don't forget, Pogba wanted to go to Real Madrid last summer because he said he was seeking for a new challenge. There were stories about Pogba going back to Juventus. Barcelona and PSG have also been in for him in the past. But yeah, I think Pogba now is a foreseeable future for the football club. So the news regarding Paul Pogba. The news regarding him. But like I said, we've got to get rid of players in the summer transfer window, because he is still deadwood at the football club. Lingard needs to go, Pereira needs to go. It'd be very, very good if we could get rid of Sanchez permanently. We also need to get rid. We also need to get rid of Smalling permanently. Rojo, yeah. I think we're going to try and get rid of Diego Dalot as well, because I don't think Diego Dalot is good enough for Manchester United. By the way, our preview for the Southampton game should be coming up tomorrow. That is Monday the 13th, 8 o'clock kickoff. It's another game we should be winning, Southampton. We are unbeaten in our last 8 games against Southampton. The last time we lost to them was back in 2016. Southampton recently, beat Manchester City by 1 goal to 0. I think Southampton's expectations will be to probably finish mid-table. But, I think, we can go unbeaten now for the remainder of the season. I think, we can do this. So anyway, guys, that's everything to update you today. Drop your comments, likes below on the channel. If you do, consider subscribe as always, and take care. God bless. See you all again very, very soon.